Hey, second graders, in this lesson we're going to be doing a little bit more with line. You'll need your book, you'll need some colored pencils, and that should probably be everything you need for this one. We're going to turn to page 6 in your book. It says, I can learn lines. Let's practice drawing lines. Okay? So I want you to fill up each of these spaces with different colors and different directions of each of these lines. So we know with straight lines we could draw horizontal lines, we can draw vertical lines, we can draw diagonal lines. But what I want to see is what different images can you make in here, different patterns can you make just with drawing straight lines. That would be really interesting for somebody to look at, more than just a horizontal or vertical line. Okay, you can switch colors in here. I can bring lines that come together at a point. I can make them go different directions or have different amounts of space in between that get closer together and farther apart. Okay, so see what different directions, play around with that with the straight line. Then when you've got that filled up, you can go on to wavy. Same thing, use some different colors, different directions. See what designs you can make in here. Just with wavy lines. Can you start them off close together, get them farther apart? If I add different colors in there, what kind of interesting things can I make? If I put them close together, farther apart. Okay, so each of these spaces, I want you to fill up the different spaces just with whatever you can think of. Does that look like a spring that's been spread out? Or I can make the loop really big or really small. I can go different directions with it. I could make it go in a circle, couldn't I? Like that. Okay. So take some time, fill out all of the spaces with these different types of lines. You can pause the video here, fill in the rest of that, and then we'll have another activity to do once you've filled that in. Okay, so once you have all these filled in, I'm just going to flip over to have this blank page back here, but if you have blank white paper or you have construction paper that you can draw on, you might choose to use that. If not, this works perfectly well too. So we're going to make a picture using line. We're going to try and incorporate all the different types of lines we practiced on the other page into this picture. I'm going to use the shape of a leaf for this activity. We're going to get into fall this week. It's going to start, so leaf seems like an appropriate type of picture. So you could find a leaf outside to trace to get a leaf shape, or you can come up with your own leaf shape. You could do just a simple kind of oval shape like that. You could come up with more like a complicated maple leaf type of shape. with different points on it. Leaves are lots of different shapes and have lots of lines on them. So come up with a leaf shape that you like. I think I'm going to do kind of a combination of those two. And you want to draw it nice and big in the middle here. So I'm going to draw a stem coming up like that. And then I'm going to do kind of a rounded shape, almost like I was drawing a circle, but then I stop halfway through. And then I'm going to come in, draw two lines coming in. And then same thing, draw like I was going to draw part of the circle, but stop short. Couple lines coming in. This time I'm going to bring it all the way to the middle, like that. Okay? Now, I want you to take your colored pencil and just divide this into some sections here. I'm going to come down the middle. I'm going to divide each of these round parts into a section, and then each of these 6 sections I'm actually going to divide up again . You can divide them up however you want, whichever direction you want these lines to go. You can do straight lines, you could do curved lines. But divide them up into some bigger or smaller sections, but not too small, because now this is what we're going to do. I want you to take a look at the different types of lines that you did. Yours should be all filled in by now, by the time you're in this part of the video. And find some different ones that you really liked. Like maybe I like the way that I did this with short lines and then switch directions. So I'm going to come over here and pick a section to do that type in. So I'm going to make some short lines like this, short lines going this way, and just fill in the space with that line design that I liked. And fill in the whole section. Okay, I finished one section. I want to pick a different one now. Come back over here. Maybe I want to do some different things with some squiggles. So I'll just go back and forth, wiggle that line across that section. I could make them go different directions. I could change the color in there. You can make it as interesting as you want. Maybe I want to do some of that, do some of those swirls in here. Maybe this one I want to change the color. Just fill that up like that. So I want you to keep going, fill in the whole space with different types of line. You can pause the video again if you need to. And then when you're finished with it, I have another step at the end. So I'm just going to finish filling in this section myself, and then I'll go on to the next part. So you could pause your video though and finish up filling in the whole section inside. Just kidding, I want to do one more part before I go on to the end. Okay, so then when you have yours all filled in, the next step that I'd like you to do is to pick some colors, or one color or multiple colors, that you want to do a line design on the outside. And what you're going to do is trace around the outside of your leaf, trying to leave about the same amount of space in between the leaf and the new line you're making, following the shape of it as you go around. And you could use the same color. If you run out of paper as you're going around, just go off the edge, pick up where you're able to, and keep going. You could do a few lines of the same color, switch. You could do a pattern, rainbow pattern. And just keep going around until you run out of paper and you can't add any more lines around it. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. More of it's going to end up going off the side of the paper, but I want to keep going around and around and around until I have no more space left. Okay, so you finish with that. You could pick other shapes to try this type of art with. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with and load into Seesaw for me. Alright, thanks so much.